Well. Welcome to Beyond the Veil, everybody. My name is Adina. If this is your first time here, I am so happy to meet you. If this is not your first time, welcome back. I am peeking around in this thing, trying to learn something new. Members only live stream. Okay. Welcome, everybody. So, like I was mentioning, welcome to Beyond the Veil. I am Adina. Nice to meet you. Happy to see you this lovely Wednesday, this day of Mercury. God bless you all. Okay, I'm sorry. I was just trying to make sure my chat is on because I don't see anybody in here yet. But, anyways, I am your resident psychic medium, more like medium here on this platform. If that is not your thing, if that's not what you're interested in, God bless you on your way out. Or you're allowed to stay if you like to engage into something new. Hey, Sissy Barbie. Happy Wednesday, honey bunny. I was hoping something wasn't wrong with my chat because it took a while for me to see anything. I see that. And I actually said that she wasn't going to drop an album in 2026. But the last time I just looked into her, I mentioned her preparing for something, but I wasn't sure if she was going to do it. I think she's going to have some challenges if she does pull this off, but I am going to get into that. Sissy, I'm going to need you to sleep. March is a little, you got a few months to March. So I'm going to need you to get some rest in between then. Okay? Okay. So I'm going to just start this thing off real smooth, real nice, because I know Sissy would like to really discuss Nicki Minaj, but I came here and I was going to discuss Jade McKissic first, the young lady that mugwort, lavender, ashwagandha, and a dash of honey. Sissy Barbie, you'll go right to sleep. You'll go night night, ninja. Night night. Throw a little mint in there if that's your thing, a little spearmint. You'll go right to sleep. But you don't need the mint, but it's nice. So, hey, is it Reese? I feel like I've said your name before, but I want to make sure that I'm pronouncing your name right. Is it Reese? Is that how you pronounce it? So, Jade McKissic. Now, one of you guys mentioned her. Okay, good. Happy Wednesday, Reese. Nice to see you. Jade McKissic. You guys brought her up when I was doing the bodies found in the bayou. I guess somebody asked me about that, and then someone asked me if there was any possible serial killer in Texas. And I did mention that I saw one, but I said they didn't have anything to do with Jade, because someone I think asked me if I thought that they did, and I didn't think that that serial killer that I picked up on had anything to do with Jade, but I don't know. And so today, when I was asking my spirits what I should discuss on live tonight, Jade's name popped up. And so that is who I will conjure up and give an opportunity to tell, in my opinion, in my imagination, based on what I do here, to tell us what happened to her. Again, if this is your first time here and this is not your thing, I completely understand. I'm never offended by people who don't believe in what I do. I do not discuss my Beyond the Veil business with my own family. And so I completely understand. I just ask that you not be rude. And if you are not interested in what I do here and you feel like you might need to protest, doth not needeth to protest in my chat. God bless you on your way out. And if you're curious and you might want to find out what I got going on here, then you're welcome to stay. God bless you. Pull up a chair. All right. This isn't a full-fledged seance because I do those. But those require a lot more time to go in. Might also require me to drink some alcohol and get a little bit under the influence if I want to speed up the process. So we'll see what I can pull up sober-minded. Hey, all in the cars. God bless you, honey. Happy Wednesday. All right. So we're going to start with Jade, and then I'll slide right into Nicki Minaj because that's the new topic, and I don't think any of my Barb fans would forgive me if I just pretended like I didn't see what was going on with her. All right. So you guys just give me a few minutes so that I can tap into the place that I need in order to speak to the dead, because I have to go somewhere. I have to go somewhere out of this realm. And I never know exactly where I need to go until I get to this one place, the first location. I call it the train station or the plane station. Then I figure out where it is I need to go to grab the spirit and the soul of the person that I need to find. And I'm even doing it right now. So I'm trying to expedite the process. So just give me 1 second to be silent and breathe. Most High Mother and Father God, thank you for this beautiful day, this Wednesday, this day of Mercury, which I have in the house of the underworld. Thank you for this gift. Thank you for YouTube for being a gracious host and platform of me sharing what I believe is my gift with people who are interested in it. Thank you for the living. Thank you for those who are no longer living in the flesh. Thank you for all the realms. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, the soul, and the collective energy. Let me grab my bell. One moment. Excuse me if I flash anybody. I'm trying not to. Okay. I don't usually grab my bell, and I actually want to grab Papa Legba. His day is Monday, but because Papa Legba, aka Isu, is also a aka Hermes, aka Thoth or Thoth, and is also associated with Mercury through the Gemini, through the twins, the trickster. His day is Monday, but I believe Papa Legba has an affinity also for the day of Mercury. So I just feel inclined to bring Papa Legba out. He hasn't had any shine in a minute. Papa Legba, Papa Legba, Papa Legba, Papa Legba, Papa Legba, Papa Legba. I will sit here at the left side of me. I'll let him watch me and not you guys. All right, and I got my bell. All right. All right. Ooh, you guys hear that? Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, the soul, and the collective energy of the recently departed Jade McKissic. I believe she was found somewhere in Texas. She was a University of Houston student, and I saw something about Bays Bayou or something like that. Brays Bayou, Bays Bayou. I don't know where that is, but I know it's somewhere between Texas and Mississippi, maybe University of Houston. So we'll say Texas. Please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Jade McKissic. Jade, Jade, Jade McKissic. Hmm. Her ancestors have her now. She's being tended to by her ancestors. I hear her wounds are being tended to by her ancestors. Ironically, the authorities say they found no reason to assume foul play, but her autopsy has not been completed yet. Now, that doesn't have to mean physical wounds. That means sometimes when people have recently passed away, and this is why I used to say I don't like to read the dead until like a year until after they're gone, is because sometimes they are going through like a healing and cleansing process. They're healing and cleansing from debris that they accumulated from life and things like that, wounds and traumas and all kinds of stuff, getting deprogrammed from certain things that cause certain traumas in their current life. And I actually believe now that that process after death is a blessing. To get a lot of some of the negative things that you picked up through life cleansed out of you is a blessing. Um, and I think that that means, I'm not sure, but I see her ancestors. So she has really strong healer ancestors who know a thing or two about removing clutter, removing nasty clutter from one's soul after they leave life. And I don't see all the departed doing that. So I believe that that is a blessing to have that occur. Jade McKissic, or any ancestor that wants to speak on her behalf, her ancestors will speak on her behalf. They say Jade's busy getting right. She had good Southern ancestors. If she was from Mississippi or Texas originally, and her people were from there, I think I can hear it in the accent. We getting her right. That's something a Southern person would say. All right. Please allow me to speak to Jade McKissic's spirit, soul, or any of her collective energies. And allow me to see what happened to Jade McKissic that caused her to no longer be amongst the land of the living. I heard she got picked up, but I'm not sure. We'll see. Mhm. That's for you all in the cards. All right. Hey, Liv. Happy Wednesday. All right. What happened to Jade McKissic? I believe she disappeared sometime around September 11th or 12th and was found dead on September 15th in somebody's bayou or near somebody's bayou. So, what happened to Jade McKissic? Spirit, please allow me to see very clearly into these waters. Lots and lots and lots of water. Was she found in water? Judgment in reverse. I am inclined to not believe everything that the authorities say, even at this early moment, because I believe that there are other parties that were involved in her no longer being here that are trying to be kept under wraps. Ironically, this card makes me think that a lot of Jay's ancestors are speaking right now on her behalf. You see them raised from the dead out of the waters that I was just asking to peer into. It makes me feel like her ancestors are angry. And I think she's surrounded by a lot of ancestors, some that are tending to her and some that are here present speaking. And they're loud and they're angry for something. And they, I believe, want all parties involved to be accountable. And it makes me feel and believe, based on my opinion, that there is an attempt to keep certain parties quiet, which may lead to the initial presumption of no foul play. She was in the water, all in the cards, okay. So other bodies in those waters, other souls in those waters. The challenge is that someone did do this to her. Now, I don't know if they are going to say it was accidental. This isn't my suicide card, but it could be. It's the card of self, and it could also be accidental. So the challenge, I believe, is if this is their initial presumption, then that's the challenge to someone else being called to the carpet for this. There may be an attempt to help make this look accidental or no foul play, but I believe it's to keep another party or other parties out of the public knowledge. Now, this is her going to the store. They said she went to the gas station, and I believe she did. And I believe that they said that they have that on surveillance. And then they saw her walk away, and then she was never seen after that. So, yes, the last time that anybody should have seen her was at the gas station, because leaving there is when something happened to her. I don't know what interaction she had with someone at the gas station, if she did, but either at the gas station or immediately leaving the gas station, there was an interaction with someone else. And that someone else would be who the law might be trying to help, instead of the victim here, the innocent victim here in blue, who's getting the shorter and the lesser end of the bargain. And I say the authorities only because they're holding the scales here. So they're in the position to dish out justice and also investigate evidence, tangible evidence. But they seem to be focused on giving the benefit of their generosity to this person in brown, instead of the person who sits underneath justice in blue, who is innocent. In my opinion, it makes maybe the authorities or some form of the authorities complicit, since they're wearing red but white underneath, because they have the opportunity to actually be just. Happy belated birthday, Gerald. Woo woo. Shout out to all the Virgos. And when does Libra season start? I'm a Libra, but I don't know when the season starts, because I consider September Libras to be Virgos. You guys feel like Virgos. Anyways, the Lover's card. Hmm. Now, this is some sort of choice and consent. Not the friends that she was with. I'll come back and clarify this, because this is where it gets tricky. After she leaves the gas station, she ends up with someone. She ends up with someone. And this someone may have been attracted or interested in her, or the other way around. This someone is the one who took her to glory. Meeting this person is when Her ancestors and her guardian angels stepped in to usher her on home. When she interacted with this other person, it was time. You're welcome, Jarrell. Now, this is her being dumped in the bayou. This is her being cared for by her ancestors. This is her being cared for by the spirits, souls, and ancestors of the others that are in or close to these waters. But this is also the person who put her there, who acted as God but didn't have the right to put her there. If she was out with her friends, they said she went to purchase a drink. Okay, so that's why she went out to purchase a drink. Again, the store is the final moment. It's when the angels stepped in to call her home or prepared to. Her end of life was approaching when she got to or left that store and hooked up with someone else. Not a friend, not one of the friends, her homegirls that she was out with. Now, this is the bayous. Somebody, I think all in the cards confirmed, but just let me ask one more time to confirm. Was she found in the water? Was she actually found in water or just close to water? Hmm. In the water. Yep. Okay. So the person had to kind of struggle a little bit to get her in there. They didn't fully submerge themselves in the water with them. They kind of had, kept themselves sturdy on land in some way to get her in the water. I would like to say that this person may have been Caucasian as well, just because every time I look at this foot, I'm drawn to the color of it. And I'm not usually drawn to colors in cards because some suits represent races. So if I want to look for a race, I'll look for a suit. But in this case, I keep looking at these pale feet. This angel is a very pale angel. It's actually the same color as most of the other cards, but every time, right now, when I look at these feet, they just look pale to me. So I'm going to roll with it. And then this is the bayous where she was found. All the eels and all the other seaweed and people that have been found there before. Spirits of other bodies may have been found in that bayou or, one further down. Unsolved mysteries here with this tower in reverse. Lost keys, money, all types of things where they found her. But this person is a shadow person. Did someone besides the authorities find her and then call the authorities? I can't switch my screens to look up any of the details. Oh, and I actually do have my new phone, you guys who know that I lost my phone. My new one came in, but the nasty thing about Apple is that in order to, hook up my iCloud to this phone so I can have all my information from the other one, they want to send the authentication code to the other device. And bitch, I don't have the other device. That's why I needed this one. So then you have to go through a recovery process, which takes about 24 hours. So tomorrow, I'll probably be able to use this bitch because I'm already into the 24-hour recovery period. So again, shout out to everybody who emailed me because some of you guys did remember that I lost my phone turning up in Miami. And some of you guys did reach out. So at least for the next 24 hours, email me unless you guys see me hop on live from my new phone. and they never have any, it's impossible to get customer service. And then I was looking for chat support because, bitch, I can't call the customer support number. I don't have no phone, but they don't have any chat support. So if you got your phone lost or stolen, you just SOL until you get to go through that recovery process, or unless you have another old phone, and I don't. So, anyways, this is where they found her. Um, does anyone know, since I can't switch screens or use that phone yet, does anyone know if like a regular person found her first and then they alerted the authorities, or if the authorities found her first, which I doubt they did? Because that would be, this could be the person who, this would be the person who actually found her. All right. Currently, she's with her ancestors. Um, also, okay, she's with her ancestors. This is her full body being recovered, her spirit body being restored. I can't switch screens to look at any reports to see what her mom's involvement is, but this is them finding her full body. There's also them saying that they don't initially see anything that alerts them to foul play, because by the Empress, it would denote that her body is intact in one piece. Okay, so they didn't say anything about anybody else finding her. Okay, they left out how, who alerted the authorities, because they didn't find her. Maybe it doesn't matter who alerted them, because it was just some random person, but it could be not a random person, because if we're talking a serial killer here, it could be someone who might not mind alerting the authorities after they've done what they did. I'm going to dig around because this shadow person here is interesting. External to her is the death in reverse. There was hope in those days leading up to her being found that she wouldn't be found passed away. And this is her loved ones unable to accept what the authorities are saying initially. Her family, I don't believe, is going to accept no foul play if that's what they stick with when the autopsy results come back. Hopes and fears, and what I believe is not going to happen, is whether they admit it or not, there is something there that is unnatural to her cause of death. And I don't have my suicide cards here just yet. I'm gonna look at the magician, but I need to see the hangman with the magician to see if she took herself out, which I don't believe because of how I see her with her ancestors. This Queen of Pentacles in reverse makes me feel like we're not going to either get the full truth or know exactly what impacted her body, affected her body, because there is something there that is unnatural and not a disease. I believe there could be some injury or something that caused her death, but I don't think that we are going to know all of it. Outcome, the hangman, but in reverse. So I do believe that they might attempt to stick with no foul play. They may attempt to make it seem like either she did this to herself, or they can't find what happened to her. But if they wanted to, they could. A lot of the details, or a lot of the truths that we should know about this, we will not. She did not do this to herself. And I know they're not saying that now, but this makes me feel the need to say she did not do this to herself. I'm going to start with the outcome because I want to see what they're going to say. What is this hangman, Jade, and the McKissic ancestors? Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This makes me feel like there are external circumstances beyond her control that led to this because the wheel of fate are circumstances beyond our control, meaning something that we didn't do to ourselves, especially when it's the wheel of fortune in reverse. We ain't gonna never do that intentionally. I will say that her mistake was leaving her phone, and it could have been a mistake. And she might not have thought anything of it, not felt any rush. Like, I'm just going to run to the store and go back. So it's all right. And the store could have been right here. So it might not have been like, oh, like such a bad thing. But in this scenario with all these major arcanas, it was the unfortunate circumstance and fate that night. But she wasn't the only circumstance in her fate. There were other parties here. The person who did it, the will of the authorities who aren't going to turn it in her favor with this outcome. One of the problems could be a loss of some evidence because her body was found in the water. So certain things like fingerprints, bodily fluids, they might be missing because she had been missing for a few days. And I don't believe the day that they found her was the day that she passed away. So there is some crucial evidence that they won't be able to recover. Another unfortunate circumstance here with this Wheel of Fortune is that they won't be able to get certain evidence that was there. DNA, fingerprints, bodily fluids, something like that. It was there, but it's lost in the sauce of the waters now. And because of that, I see, for one, I see a lack of effort into really solving this case because, well, diving into it, I believe, would mean diving into somebody maybe affluent and white. I don't know what community she was in, but there is some falsity, some things that we'll never know for sure, even though we could know. Queen of Pence in reverse. There was some violence involved in between her commute. Six of Swords in reverse and the Six of Pentacles in the past. This is her at the store. From this six of her, being at the store, going to the future and the lovers, encountering someone. Behind what I said, what's not going to happen is us knowing all of the impact that her body made. For one, some of the evidence that was left on her body, it's lost. But two, I don't believe that there isn't something that they're going to find that's going to allude to foul play. Now, it could be that it's not enough to allude to foul play, but it's not natural. But there's something there that, in my opinion, from reading this, if I would believe, I would want to inquire further, at least investigate. Now, seeing this six, clarifying this, lets me know that she ran into some trouble on her way back from the store where she would have been going to wherever she left her phone. She ran into some trouble, and that trouble is what we're not going to know the full details of. She encountered someone who may have approached her, hey, beautiful. This person was probably interested in her in some way, but not trying to be her boyfriend. They didn't know her. She's walking, an attractive Black girl walking from the store. They could treat her like I'm not sure, Liv. I'm not sure yet. They could be approaching her to pick someone up real quick for something. She's walking along the street. You can be a nice girl and still get approached like a hoe if you walking around the street by somebody that should just, hey, hey, and then no, I'm good. I'm good. She ran into some issues there. And I believe that person was called to the occasion. I believe whatever offer they made her, she turned it down. I'm not a party girl. I'm not a party girl. I don't need a ride. I'm good. But I think she wasn't good. Because this is a card of being able to defend yourself against whatever these wands are. And look, but in this case, you succumb. You succumb. You are overpowered and overwhelmed. You succumb. He went from a knight upright, hey, pretty girl, where you going? To the king of wands in reversed, being a mean, nasty, dirty offender. One who gets to hide behind anonymity. Currently, the anonymity of the high priestess. You got her holding the Torah, the book of the law here, and you got the Torah here in the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Let me look into this Knight of Pentacles. This Knight of Wands. This is University of Texas like a mixed campus? Do they have is that an HBCU or no? University of Houston. Is that a HBCU? This person is either light skinned or white. Someone I think you're right. All in the card. Someone she knew. Someone she knew, but someone that she was not interested in. She could have known them from her school, possibly. This person could be light-skinned, mixed, or white. She was drunk. They were drunk. Somebody was drunk. Or had a few drinks. Might not have been intoxicated yet. I believe that she was asked for a ride. They offered to pick her up and she turned it down, and then she wanted to keep going on her own way. She may not have known this person that well, may have been familiar with them from around and not had any reason to think that they were weird, but turned down their offer for a ride and decided to keep going on her own. Six of Swords in reverse. Now, this is her not making it back to her friend. And the Six of Swords in reverse is where I said it went bad. This wasn't no accidental passing here. You go from the Six of Swords trouble until the 10. So from this, what I believe this encounter of her encountering someone on her way back, I think they asked her if she needed a ride. I think she said no and wanted to keep going. They may have not. They may have kept hassling her. Did you willingly get in the car with them? maybe against your better judgment, which is why I feel like it was a no with that Queen of Swords in reverse. Did you willingly get into the vehicle with them, Jade? No, no. I don't think that this person was fully black. This because this makes me feel like I didn't because they're not from my community. Still think they could be mixed or light skinned, but why is that? Why not? Why not? Asked again, no. She was asked something and it was a resounding no. A resounding no. I am having a hard time feeling like this person is fully black, and if they are light skinned. I keep saying that and I don't know why, but anyways, this lovers. I'm trying to work my way around here. Okay. On her journey, I think going back, because at this point she had already gotten what she came for. And again, she has the store in her past. So after she left the store, she encountered somebody on her journey back with whatever she purchased. I think they said a drink. She was walking, she was on foot. Somebody offered to give her a lift. Somebody offered to help her. It was a male. They offered to give her a ride. I believe she got snatched. At some point after a resounding no, I believe she got snatched and possibly from the back. She, along with whatever she had on her, I know she didn't have her phone. She had a drink in her hand. She may have had keys on her ID or something. I don't know, but she got snatched along with whatever she had. And I feel like it was from behind. This person went back to where she was taken more than just the time that they took her there. They went back. They went back at some point. Now, I don't know if this is a friend from school, a school worker, employee of the facility. Might not even be a student, might not even be a peer, might have been someone older, a faculty, somebody that worked at the school on the facilities, which is why she would have been familiar with them, trust them a little bit, but still didn't want to, no, I'm good. I'll walk. Present position, judgment in reverse, strength card. Um, there's something here blocking the person who did this from coming to light again with that judgment in reverse. Them saying they don't see any foul play again, this Empress Nine of Wands, this is them saying that they didn't see anything on her body that they didn't see like any cuts, gun wounds, or anything like that. But someone did this. And if they really investigated as hard as they should, if they worked as hard as they should, they could build up a solid case with evidence. I don't know if they're going to do that simply because of how her body was found. It could be easier. Let me look into the store. I did, Tierra, but I gotta wait 24 hours for the Apple recovery process. The only other option is factory reset. Then I won't have any of my contacts, any of my messages, or anything like that. So I'm gonna wait. It's about 20 hours left because I did it about 5 hours ago. So maybe sometimes tomorrow I'll be able to use it and be back in business because Apple is taking me through the long iCloud account recovery process. All right, the store. I don't know why she felt the need to purchase a drink. If they said she was going to purchase something to drink, I don't know why she would do that because I don't think she needed one, not from the store. Now, this is where she encountered the person at the store, possibly at the store, in the store parking lot for the first time. I don't know if she was supposed to go meet someone at some point of that at that night. Maybe at some point at that night she was gonna hook up or link up with somebody. Somebody definitely snatched her. I'm going to say within 6 to 10 minutes of her being last seen on that surveillance camera, and I'm going to say that she attempted to free herself of that unsuccessfully. It's her being snatched. It's her being unsuccessful at freeing herself. Challenge with this magician reverse. Hmm. Um, just email me, Tiara, and let me know anytime after. I'll say tomorrow. Friday, even Friday is good. What is this like a? What is this community around the school, around where she's found? I don't imagine this is a suburb where she was hanging out at, but maybe it was. What's the community like where she was found? I can't switch screens to Google. And I'm wondering if the other women that they've been finding in the bayou, are a lot of them Black or is it mixed? You know what? I think it's too much pressure on them to solve a case or these cases about these bodies that they're finding. I also think somebody was trying to treat her like a prostitute. Even if they knew her, they might have thought she might have been down for some fun that night, even if they were like faculty. They off the clock. Somebody's being really silent about something here, and I think it's the authorities. Maybe until they find out what the autopsy said. They don't want to say anything to make them hurt the family. All right. Now let me ask a few questions that I have accumulated. Thank you, Keisha. Okay. All right. Let me refresh my senses. All right. Jade, did you end up in those waters in that bayou by yourself? Did you walk into those waters, lay down in those waters, and allow yourself to drown? That's the only way. Ain't no foul play. That's the only way. Jade McKissic, did you lay into the bayou, into the waters where your body were found on your own will? Did you walk in, lay down, and say, "Ancestors, take me"? In a very crucial way, your lungs being filled with oxygen. I mean, with water. You have to feel them burst. Absolutely not. Jay says, I went to the store and I was supposed to come back. I just walked to the store. This is me walking and I have a purpose. And when I left, I had my purpose in my hand. And that purpose was not to walk myself into the bayou. In fact, I tried to stand my ground. Someone attacked me as I was six of wands, walking back, minding my business. Does this look like somebody angry? Or does this look like somebody suicidal? So we wouldn't assume that this is Jade, right? Because she had no reason to be angry unless she needed to stave someone off. And if this is Jade and she was suicidal, then why would Jade look like that? In a defense posture and losing her footing. And then this happened. I was walking back from the store. I got attacked and they got me. The devil, bound. She may have been bound in some way because I had that Eight of Swords. She tried to get herself out. She tried to get herself loose from the grips. Now, why would the devil be there? There are two people here and then the nasty devil. So again, I had the devil, the lovers. This baby wasn't alone. And someone did something devilish and dirty to her, like murder, allegedly. Let's start with you defending yourself with the Seven of Wands. Whatever injuries she incurred would be internal, mostly. They looked at her and she's an attractive girl. They didn't really see anything at first, but there is something there. There was violence that happened, and there are bruises or marks there. Which is going to lead me to my next set of questions after I clarify this mess. Seven of Wands. She said they're not doing their job. They're not doing their job to get more evidence because of the lack of evidence present at the scene. They're not doing their job. She said, I fought. I'm going to say that they took her somewhere prior to taking her to the bayou. They may have taken her somewhere and had some fun with her, a shack, a house, not their home though. I don't want to say a cheap motel, but maybe even that. I think she dropped something along the way. I don't know what she had on her. It might have been an item of clothing, but she lost an item of clothing or something she had on her. I believe when they found her, she didn't have all of her clothes on, maybe not even all of her shoes. There was something missing that should have been there, a part of her outer appearance that wasn't, which is why she's saying they're not doing their job. Because if it was no foul play, then everything that was supposed to be on her would still be there. If she walked into the water herself. Look into the devil. Mm-mm-mm-mm. There is someone who should be charged with this. One person, somebody definitely did this. One person made this devilish bed. The same person who snatched her, held her against her will, and took her life. How so? How did your life end? What did they do since they haven't found any foul play signs on you? How did they do it? The Empress in reverse, there are injuries to her. There should be tangible evidence. There is something there that they I'm not understanding why they say there's no evidence of foul play. There is something there on her body that shouldn't be. A bruise. I believe there's a bruise. And what did you guys find in the water around her body? Because you guys found some other evidence there, or something that could be evidence. I don't know if it was trash or something, but there was something floating around or around on the bank that you guys picked up and collected or should have because it was relevant to her. So why not? Why not? Why will the authorities after your autopsy rule your death a homicide and pursue some form of justice or an investigation? Ace of Pentacles, Chariot in reverse, Ten of Wands. I see a liar here. I see a liar here, and I think it's somewhere in the authorities. There is evidence I think that they're aware of, but I think it shows someone in their community in a bad light, maybe even some kind of surveillance. Definitely a cover up. Now, this could be because it's someone from their community, but you see the moon and the high priestess in reverse, that's a cover up. And that is, I don't want to take this any further at all. Why? Por qué? Now, this is what I said made me think that it could have been a staff or faculty at the school. It could be a member of clergy. It could be a member of one of the enforcement entities. This is somebody that shouldn't be involved in this. The Hierophant and the Emperor. And they're going to look the other way because of it. I see you guys have looked the other way about a few of this person's proclivities. Wonder if it's one of the sons of law enforcement or somebody powerful. If it's not someone powerful, then their dad is in the position to step in. Their dad is in the position to step in, I believe. Their father or a father figure, uncle, grandfather, somebody like that. So I do think it's someone younger, but I think their father or somebody is in a position to clean that shit right on up. Hey, JD. How are you, my love? All right. Any questions, concerns, comments while I have Jade's ancestors here? Thank you all in the cars. God bless you. I appreciate you for stopping by. Will Jade McKissic get justice through the American legal system now or ever? Every time I do these lives, I get so hungry. I ain't bring no snacks in here. Will Jade McKissic get justice through the legal system? Her ancestors say we don't need justice through the legal system. We got this. So, yikes. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Unfortunately, I want to say it has something to do with her exposing something. I see race being involved here and exposing something, which lets me know that getting justice for her would mean exposing something that they don't want to. Now, the autopsy. I see an apology for saying that she didn't have injuries when she did, and that's behind the exposing. They would have to apologize because she did have injuries when they found her and they said she didn't. If they did their job, unlike when she said they weren't, then they would have to explain the violence. Now, the hangman is the conspiracy. The devil in reverse. The person who did this, they want that person to get off. This person either had, and there could be saying there's no foul play in order to quickly close the case. Let me look into this devil again. Who do they want to get off? Someone did this. I think they're white. And I think they may have some power behind them. Here's the lovers again, the person she encountered. Everybody involved would have to fall on their own swords due to their initial statements, and I mean law enforcement. Who is this Empress? And what is this person? Why do they want this person to get off? Why do they want to protect this person and keep them free? The world in reverse, unsolved, unclosed. Again, I believe that they saw something else in between them saying that the last surveillance they had was her leaving the store. I think they have something else even in between then. It could be someone related to law enforcement. Uh, they're concerned about when the autopsy comes out, any pushback from the family. I believe they have a relationship with the coroner. And I believe that they've done this before with other Black people or victims that they feel like don't deserve full investigation. I think it happens often in the medical, the authorities and the coroners or the medical examiners. I think they have a relationship with them or an understanding. And that's that on that. Thank you, Jade, and your ancestors. You may depart in peace, my dear. Go on heal. Shout out to Papa Legba again for helping me through that. Let me shake it off, re-cleanse my hands, and then we'll go right into Nicki Minaj. Now, you guys, I can't do a reclaiming the law for my members until I start going live from my phone again so that I can use my computer to read off of. So you guys be patient with me, please. I haven't abandoned you for nothing. I just can't operate like I usually do without my phone because I'm usually live on my phone and using my computer to read and Google and research off of. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to stretch my legs. Oh, sitting Indian style that whole time, child. All right. Since I'm not reading the dead anymore, I'll put Papa Legba to the right. Nicki Minaj. Uh-oh, sissy, you ready now? Nicki Minaj. She said she was coming in March, and I believe it's Cardi B supposed to be coming in February. Now, this is career suicide I'm not going to say career suicide, but this is bad news for Atlantic. And I know because I peeked last night to see how Atlantic felt about Cardi B. In the near future, I saw that they got some bad news, and the outcome was the Page of Wands. The future was the Ace of Cups in reverse, so that would be bad news about somebody's spontaneous announcement. And in the outcome, the Page of Wands in reverse is probably how they're going to maneuver around that wand, that Page of Wand. And now I know exactly what that was. So I didn't think Nicki Minaj was going to release in 2026 because I saw her having some challenges at the time. And then the other day when I read her, I saw her cooking up something, but I actually didn't think she was going to be able to put it out. I do think that there's a project that she's working on that I think may be going through some challenges putting out. That could be a song or a collaboration with somebody, but let's take a look. Let's take a look. They're playing with Cardi B's numbers to make it sell more or close to Pink Friday too. Well, before I go into Nicki Minaj, let me just see if Cardi B is organically doing well. There's always a good chance that you know you you know there's a good chance that she just might be. So let's see. Before I call up Nicki Minaj spirit, will all of Cardi B's sales when they are released to the public be organic? This isn't a full reading. I'm gonna just pull 3 cards. Will all of Cardi B's sales when they are released be organic? I know, Liv. I'm doing this for the lovers, the barbs, because I know they are. Um, all right. Now the Fool tells me that she put out a project. I still think it was put out really quickly, and I think the response from a lot of people have been silence. This rose here is the Rosicrucian rose, and the symbology of it when the Rosicrucians used it meant silence, meant keeping esoteric secrets of their order. So the rose meant silence, amongst other things. So with the release, there comes silence, maybe from some. I think this is telling me that they wanted more acclaim than they got. I do not believe that it's going to meet something, some kind of metric or goal that they want to achieve. It's not going to happen. And it probably will never happen because of the death here. It happening would be upright. So, in case people are saying, will she ever outsell Nicki Minaj or sell the 300,000 that some people were saying? I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think that she sold enough for some sort of prediction. Let me look into the Fool, actually. This is Cardi B saying, "Hey, this is her really, really, really promoting her album. Hey, you guys," and I want to say using some form of sympathy. I'm a single mother of 4, even though it was sarcasm and satire. Using the sympathy route. Help me, help a single mother of 4. Let me buy Pampers, and then she brought culture out to a fashion show. I think that was supposed to help drive more interest to the album after. I think that there is an element of silence here, so not enough people are listening to it. I won't say that nobody is, but not enough people, not enough real people are. And I think at some point during the rollout, either it was a plan A or a plan B to bring culture out. At the time, I think that nobody was taking Cardi's bait. And I think a part of her promotion was banking on some of the other girls responding to her. Maybe that's why JT took her time. She didn't want to drive any like first week sales to her or anything like that. All right. Let me look into the death in reverse will tell me what goal it is they have in mind that's impossible for them to reach. When it comes to bots, I told these bot companies a long time ago. I told them when they started allowing their bots to threaten me that I was going to handle them. And the next bad day that that the boss of the bots had would be on me. And I believe it was a few days later, the bot Rico start rolling out. Roll it back if you don't believe me. Some of you guys were there. I think it was one of the times I brought out the sword of truth, and I was so frustrated. And I said, I am going to handle. I ain't gonna worry about the bots, but the people sending you guys, they be removing them from my channel too. So you're welcome for the bad day. Let me look into the death in reverse. And not to brag, but I did get an apology from YouTube right after the day after that live. I posted it. An apology from YouTube. So, and I accept. I love you, YouTube. I don't think you guys are the problem. What is this unattainable goal? Death in reverse, the Hierophant. I think what Atlantic is not going to do is put the full force and the full budget like the old Atlantic did behind Cardi. And so I don't think that they are going to try anymore to maneuver her alongside Nicki Minaj. I actually think they've realized that that hinders her career. So now they want to unshackle her from the comparisons of Nicki Minaj because that's the unattainable goal. And I only say Nicki Minaj because that's the only person, you see two people here and two people here that they really, really, really tried to maneuver her next to. They're not going to do that anymore, I believe, because it's an unattainable goal. Ooh, and that fell on the floor face down. She can never outsell Nicki Minaj. She never matches up in sales or the money that the brand of Cardi B makes. Let me get the death card off the floor. And the Five of Pentacles next to the 10 in reverse, going back to the 5, is the issue. Setting her at the side of Nicki Minaj, and this isn't me being a stan, excuse me, you guys, but this is me being somebody with ears, okay? That was a setup for failure, and I don't need to be an experienced record executive to see that. Nobody did. Good thing that you guys see it now, but it's kind of too late because you guys have lost out on so much opportunity to brand her another way and really capitalize off of the talents, the natural talents that she has, instead of trying to force her into a slot where I don't believe she has natural talents. And according to what I see here, I don't think you guys think that. So, what was I asking? I don't even remember what I was asking. But that's that. So now I'll read. I really do believe her having her own show, like the Kardashian show, is her pocket. I think if she had her own version of keeping up with Kardashian or whatever, her own family show, and she keeps adding to her family, so that would have gave her season after season. She could have had a whole season called "Am I the Drama" instead of an album. But I think she would have prospered so much after launching this after Invasion of Privacy, because she took a 7-year hiatus from music, and that would have, if she wanted to come back out, that would have been a great form of publicity and keeping her name, really relevant. Instead of her being quiet and only being relevant for online drama, it would have kept her name relevant in another way. It would have opened her up to new markets and audiences that she could have really marketed her music to once she decided to come back, if she chose to do so. So I definitely think she could have had a lot of seasons because she's a polarizing girl and she keeps up a lot of drama for herself. So she definitely would have had a lot of content. She has a lot of good relationship with fashion houses. So that would have been the nice fabulosity around it. We could have watched what it looks like to be the brand of Cardi B. And I actually would have watched. I would probably be a fan of Cardi Dashian. I would be a fan of that. But I find it hard to be a fan of her musically because as somebody that is musically inclined and who values the art and the science of music, I can see when somebody, was put somewhere and she really wants to live up to that, but you can't. You can't. I could really want to be a surgeon and I can go through 20 years of school and I wouldn't trust myself being a surgeon because my handshake. I got bad nerves. So don't let me cut into you and your brain because my hands shake like my granddaddy's. It's, and I might really, 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 really want to do it. But realistically, realistically, I don't think I would be good at it. Excuse me. Pardon me. Okay. All right. Now, the moment Sissy has been waiting for. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, the soul, and the collective energy of Nicki Minaj, Nikki, Onika, Tanya, Mirage, Petty, in case JD didn't hear me. Because it's Nikki F. Baby, but please say the Petty for JD. Nicki Minaj, you just announced that you are going to be releasing an album sometime in March. Spirit, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy from Nicki Minaj and compel her to tell her soul's truth and keep absolutely nothing hidden from me. I ain't never compelled Nicki, but compel her ass. I, Big Mama Busted, don't like surprises. Nicki Minaj, what is the energy surrounding your album release today? I see that you were cooking up something the last time, but I wasn't sure if you were going to release it, and maybe you wasn't sure if you were going to release it until somebody else released their tour and you said, push the red button. Your last name is Petty now, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Nicki Minaj, I compel you to tell me the truth. What is going on with you in this album? Are you going to release it? Are you going to release it for real? And why? I'm curious to know. Compel her, please. The barbs have spoken. The busted barbs have spoken, Nikki. You are compelled. I hate to do it to you, but you got to speak now because you lie. And I ain't knows you was a liar, a fibber. Well, yeah, I clocked your teeth. They say Nikki never lies. To psychics, she does. If we give her an inch, she'll try to take a mile. Damn Sagittarius. They move quick. She says Queen Onika is coming in her present position. Big Sag energy. She says she coming. She say she ready. She say I'm coming. And Nikki, Sissy said, and she sat. Just like you sat, she sat. So y'all sat together. This is Nicki Minaj sitting, and this is the Barbs sitting beneath her, gagging, ready to do some evil petty stuff online, ready to get into some shit. I cannot in my Jocelyn voice. Did you guys know how much I love Jocelyn Hernandez? See, Cardi B, this is why you should have took to reality TV and gave us seasons and seasons, because the same way we fell in love with Jocelyn in a whole new way after the Coke rages is the same way we would have did for you. Even the people who didn't like you because of Nicki Minaj, they probably would have liked you as a Cardi Dashian. They would have. Long as you ain't trying to compete with their queen, they would have gave you some. Nicki absolutely released this announcement because another announcement was made, and she's definitely taking the attention away. And she believes to take all the attention away from Cardi B's upcoming shenanigans. So if Cardi has a tour coming, Nicki wants y'all to pay her shit no mind, because she wants y'all to be focused on what she just offered y'all. Mrs. Petty. Are you the drama, Onika? Onika, are you being the drama? Nicki said, if you're the drama, I'll raise you. So I'll raise you 10. My goodness. This is the drama and the petty that all of you Barty fans and Barb fans have been waiting for. You guys have been waiting for this for several years. Well, here it is. The drama and the petty. Who will come out on top? She said, oh, you're drama? I'm petty. Round one. In the right corner, we have Belcalis Zar. She's coming in, a sophomore in the game, although she says she's the senior. And in the left corner, we've got Onika Petty, a veteran, a proven veteran in the game, who said, tag me in, coach. I'm just here for the shits and giggles. Round one. You guys are a key. Past position. Okay, well, the past position was the industry trying to put them together. Remember, I was just saying that when I peeked into Cardi. But it's in Nicki's past. So I'm telling you guys, the industry is no longer going to try to make Cardi Nicki's equal, which makes it even more petty, because now that she sees that they're backing off, it's kind of like what Kendrick did. Wasn't Drake dealing with some health issues when Kendrick dropped? My God. Some stomach issues, and he gave that man diarrhea. I hate to be dealing with stomach issues when something like that happens, because I know his stomach just dropped some more. So Nicki, girl, you see them people is waving the white flag. They are not going to make her your peer anymore. She said, I came for Bia and JT for a reason. And Ice Spice. They're not doing that Nicki shit no more. That's in your past. So why did you feel the need to do this, Onika Tanya Mirage Petty? Now, Nicki, I don't know why the Eight of Wands here is in reverse. So now that I do know why. Now that you announced your album, you know the shit is coming, right? You know some shit is coming, right? Because it's on its way. Because there might be another fire sign that said, oh, you thought you was finna drop an album? See, this is what I was talking about when I read her the first time. And I said, I think she's working on something, but she might not, because she knows she's going to get sabotaged. It's coming. It's coming. If you thought it wasn't, well, bitch, somebody lied to you, because it's coming. But because it's the Eight of Wands and not the Tower, that tells me that you're at least a little bit prepared. That means you know it's coming. So you got some preparations made, but the sabotage is coming. It's even funnier because now Cardi B is aligned with Jay-Z, and they already was beefing with you and probably sabotaged you on your last tour. But you coming to stop Cardi. I like this though. I like your gangster because you saying I don't care who Cardi aligns with. I'm gonna make that bitch prove. I'm gonna make all of them prove. If y'all want this bitch to survive this storm that bad, then I want all y'all to run a bag behind her. Otherwise, let's see if y'all gonna let her drown or if y'all gonna try to keep her on top of me. And the days of them trying to keep her on top of you or beside you is in the past. So Nicki Minaj is actually saying, let me call your bluff. If Cardi thought she was playing chess, I think Nicki Minaj might be calling a checkmate because now, because Cardi B might have been saying, all right, I'm going to align with Jay Z to one up you. Nicki Minaj is now saying, okay, I'm gonna wait till you release your tour and I'm gonna release my shit. So now you ain't got no choice but to run it with me, even though I know you was trying to avoid it. I'm gonna make you run it with me. And if you really side with them and if they really fuck with you like they say they do, well then let's see them put a bag behind you. Now Nicki Minaj is trying to make them spend some money where these people ain't really want to spend money. That to me is a checkmate. Because either they gotta really call Nicki Minaj bluff and really make Cardi happen while Nicki Minaj is trying to sabotage her rollout. But it's different to make a tour fetch because you can't buy seats. So I'm ready to see this outcome. Because she's saying if y'all really gonna help her, like y'all thought y'all was doing when I was on hiatus, then let's see if y'all gonna help her when I'm on her neck. Crowd and Nicki Minaj are her fucking fans. As usual. The Barbs are the cat here, and they're the ones on Nikki's head top gagging, ready for it, ready for it. Also, on another note, she waited to have Cardi B announce her tour to announce her album that she knows it's gonna sell. Child, how Nikki sees herself satisfied. And she has some tricks up her sleeve. She has some things prepared for the sabotage that's coming, but it is. She has some tricks behind that curtain. Now, how people see her, somebody, I think that now that Nicki Minaj released her album, there are some people who might want to circle the block and work with her after they pick sides, even behind the scenes. People that pick sides when she was going at the industry, and they kind of like, well, Nicki ain't gonna survive Rock Nation, so we just gonna not have her back and da 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 da. I think now some of them might be a little regretful, maybe. Hopes and fears. Her plans will not be utterly destroyed, but they will be sabotaged. Now, the outcome is the Ace of Swords. So I do think she's going to do exactly what she says she's going to do. I think that this may be a heavily lyrical album. I think that she will be showing off her superior, you see the crown, pen game. I think it's going to be lyrical and hard for somebody If the industry ever wanted a Nicki Minaj Cardi B moment part two, I think she knows that they're not trying to put her with her anymore. And so to stick the knife in even further, she's going to release that album while Cardi B's going on tour or sometime around it, and it's going to be heavily lyrical. So if when she releases this, if they try to hype Cardi up to come at her, it's it'll be hard because Nicki will be putting her pin game foot in whatever she's releasing. It won't be really, it'll have fun stuff on it, but you guys will appreciate her OG lyricism, I think. She's going to try to end that once and for all. Even though Nicki Minaj, what you might not know is that it already ended. It already ended. But I know that you think that because Cardi B went with Jay-Z and they allowed that album to come out. But I mean, like the other executives, the other powers that be, they're not like Atlantic, they're not putting the Cardi B machine against Nicki Minaj. But she feels like, well, Rock Nation did. So there's somebody who wants to, and I'm going to end it once and for all. I'm going to try to put out something that she can't go toe to toe with. She can't put out anything more lyrical than what I'm putting out. So I'm going to end it. And that is one of the 48 laws of power. You don't show no mercies to your enemies. When you have an enemy and you are in open battle, off with their heads. That's the only way. You can't let them recover and come back with a vengeance. You have to. You have to crush your opponent. You have to, lest they come back and crush you. Let me clarify this Ace of Swords. I'm sorry, Will. If you're watching this and I can't see you, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry because like I'm shading Cardi B. I just hate that I had to, when I peeked into Cardi B, I saw what I did because I don't like for my Cardi B fan busted babies to think I'm being biased. But to be honest, have I been wrong about her not being able to surpass that as long as I've been saying it? And I'll never shade Cardi B because I really gave you guys where I think her strengths are. And if she wanted to do music, there's a way you guys could have did it, but you guys would have had to take that Spanish rollout a lot more seriously and start it right after Invasion of Privacy, because in the golden age of music, eras were embodied. So albums didn't usually come out back to back because albums were embodied. They were fully embodied. And so the person actually alchemized themselves into the era. They became actors and actresses and lived whatever that era was. I see Doja recently tried to give a little bit of the golden days of eras with her 80s vibe. But no, back in the day, eras took 12 to 36 months to really roll out and filter all the way through. You had them promoting the era even before the album rollout. Then you had them promoting the era while the album rollout. And then even after the album was out, they still had to promote that album living in that era. So they literally had to shapeshift into whatever they were conveying. Which is why I think the Spanish era, the Spanish Boricua Barbie or Bodega Barbie era could have worked. And now that you guys can't do it anymore, I'll tell you guys exactly how it would have worked because it's no way that you can do it now. And I know you guys might have heard my advice and put Bodega Barbie on there real fast after watching one of my videos. Probably not, but maybe. But I also told y'all I'll never tell all my secrets because I'm an A&R in my own. You guys had to give it an old school golden era. You guys even tried to tap into the old school golden era with some of her rollout tactics, but you guys had to fully commit to it. So what you guys should have did was immediately after the hype of her First album, if you guys didn't want to do the Kardashian just yet, because you guys could have gave her the second album and then let her retire on into the Kardashian, because Cardi B doesn't need several albums. She's not talented enough for several albums, not even with this rollout that I would have suggested. She had one and done on each. But she could have probably had another invasion of privacy with her Bodega Barty album. And we're just going to call it Bodega Barty instead of my Belcalis Almazar. She could have called it Belcalis Almazar or Bodega Barty. And immediately after invasion of privacy, especially since she had projects on there with Bruno Mars. Is he Latin? She had a Latin project on there that I Like It Like That, and that was successful. She should have floated into that. So we should have seen her be a Latina. It would have broadened her audience because she's a Bronx girl, a Bronx hip hop artist, and she gave hip hop on Invasion of Privacy, but she also presents like a Latina girl. She's not Black. She doesn't present as Afro Caribbean or Black American or Trinidadian. She presents as a Boricua. So they should have went right into giving her a full-fledged Spanish Bronx Boricua makeover, and she should have lived in that, and she should have catered to that audience, that market, the Latin market. She should have networked with some Latin artists. If she was going to divorce her husband, since she would have been giving Latin Boricua parties, she should have found a nice soccer player to hook up with. I mean, fully went into it. Fully went into it. Yes, Latina girly pop rap. Fully went into it though, but lived it off the tail of invasion of privacy up until now. So we would have had to see her in the DR all the time. We would have needed to see her in her home in the DR. We would have needed to see less of her in the States. We need to hear less of her speaking English. We want to see her eating instead of pickles and chips and whatever other of the junk food she likes. We need to see her dishes that she really likes to eat with her family. Because, bitch, her family eats Spanish, Dominican food. I know they do. That's what we needed to see. We needed to see her, doing promotions or some kind of endorsement collaborations, business collaborations with Shakira and, think Bad Bunny and stuff like that. Find some Bronx or underground, but popular in the Latin community, hip hop artists, rap artists, and then promote them. Give them some light because you could have, and that would have gave you their audience and their support when you rolled out your Bodega Barty album or your Belcalis album. That if you weren't going to do the Kardashian, that would have gave. And then after you gave us that album, then go do the Kardashian. Not another album after those two, because you don't have the range or the creativity after giving us full-fledged hip hop and full-fledged Latina. You would have to stay in full-fledged Latina because it fits you so well and give us Kardashian. So if you still wanted to do music in between giving Kardashian, use Kardashian to keep you alive and then give us more of the Latin girly pop. That would have worked. But I'm not your A&R. And you guys didn't pay my fees. So I made sure, like Nicki Minaj waited to announce her album after your tour. I made sure to give you all of what I only touched on after it's too late for you to use it. Because I promise if you try to use any of what I just gave you now, it's too late. We don't believe you. So, Nicki Minaj, let me clarify your Ace of Swords outcome. And I gave that to let people know I don't hate her. I have really great ideas for how I would have worked her. Ace of Swords for Nicki Minaj. What are you doing? This is to make sure that they can never, ever. I think she's going to have some lyrical stuff Ironically, she sampled or kind of interpolated a Biggie song with Barbie Dangerous, and that's actually my favorite song from anything I've heard from her. Pink Friday too. I love that the most because it's the most lyrical to me, and I'm a golden age of music kind of girl. And I like when she's showing off her lyrical abilities more than she's being commercial and pleasing the audiences. I like when she's giving that. Ironically, Biggie is the one who Jay-Z soul swapped or tried to soul cipher because after Biggie died, Jay-Z bought his chain. They say Jay-Z was Biggie's biggest fan. I think they had a business endeavor that they were trying to work on. And after Biggie died, Jay-Z wasn't going to let Biggie's energy just go to waste or let P. Diddy just harness and offer himself. So he bought his chain and wore it to the studio. And I'm a woo lady, so I know what that does. And I think Nicki Minaj ate that song, especially that first line of the first verse. Best to me. Anyway, she's doing this to also, again, I think, checkmate Rock Nation and see how bad they really want to deal with Cardi, how bad they really want to keep Cardi in Nicki's algorithm. And she knows that they're going through legal drama. So this isn't just a checkmate for Cardi B, it's a checkmate for Rock Nation too, because Cardi B nestled herself under the devil, who I think Nicki Minaj believes to be Rock Nation. So now it's like they going through shit right now. So they really, if I were on hiatus, then that's cool. They don't feel any kind of way because they think I'm quiet. But now that I'm gonna come out, now they really have to put their support behind you where the where their mouth is. And they got too much shit going on. So Nicki is coming for Rock Nation too because they tried to help while they thought she was on hiatus. And I think this is why she went on hiatus, so that she can let some shit happen so she can figure out how to make a play around it. I definitely think, again, Nicki Minaj is going to try to out rap anybody who thinks that they can put themselves with her, but especially Cardi B. Let me look into this Five of Cups because I think that some people being a little unapologetic now that they see that Nicki Minaj might be coming musically. Some people had decided they weren't going to fuck with her when it seemed like she was on hiatus. Nicki seemed to have a lot of people in the industry thinking that she wasn't going to put out any music. That's probably why I thought she did. She wasn't. This is why I compelled her because she even pulled the wool over my eyes and nobody does that. So I'm going to compel her from now on. But then again, she did the right thing because somebody like me would have read her and gave up the play, reading her publicly on YouTube. I think a lot of people thought Nicki Minaj was either too shook or because she waged war with the industry, she was done. So I think there were people who are now apologetic, might be wanting to circle back, that played themselves at that time. This could be Ra Ali. Somebody did something really sneaky, added to Cardi B's drama, because the Five of Swords is drama. The Two of Swords added to make it the seven could have been their altercation, Ra Ali and Nicki Minaj. So definitely Ra Ali could have thought that Nicki Minaj was done so. And Cardi B now had free reign to be the queen. Somebody was being sneaky and is feeling away now. But Nicki was playing the magician the whole time. No, I'm not talking about stolen things. I think this is when Raw Ali got involved in a fake altercation with Cardi B right before her rollout. I think that Raw would love to suck up to Nicki now, but can't. And I think a few other people are that way too. I believe that Fly God because a lot of them have come to me as clients. And I say all the time, I have had so many people come get consultations to me that introduce themselves as Barbs right after they gave me their name. And sometimes before, hey, I'm one of your Barb subscribers. And this was early in my YouTube days. So I knew then I had a big Barb following here. And it seemed like they came this one time. The first time I read Nicki Minaj, them bitches came in droves. And then they started booking consultations. And a lot of my regular clients are Barbs. And so if they I always say, if they support me like that, child, I'm gonna have to say JD probably. JD has done I know JD spent coin. Sissy, you were my first one, Sissy, actually. Sissy is the OGest of the OGs. JD might be the most radical as far as it comes to me. I know JD spent a lot of money on Nicki Minaj because JD has done random things like send me love offerings, and they don't be $20. She'll send $100. Here, queen, $60, $70. Here, have a bottle on me. She just recently offered to do something for me, and I almost cried. I had to pull over because I was driving while I was talking to her, and I had to pull over just because somebody even thought to do something that kind to me. So I know they be putting their money where their mouth is. I'm telling y'all, I ain't trying to tell all they tea, but they be doing stuff. They be supporting for real. So I believe you, Fly Guy, because I experienced it, and I ain't nowhere near Nicki Minaj. All right. Near future, there's some sabotage headed your way. Oh yeah, here we go. There will be some things that happen that will cause some hiccups, but I think she will work through them. Nicki Minaj, you're a fan. Nicki Barb's, this message is for you. Usually, when they want to really get at Nicki Minaj, they have to go at the thing that makes her as big as she is, and that's her fans. And so, Barb's, you guys are always under attack. There's always going to be dissension from on the inside, people who proclaim to be Barb's who are not. And they give perspectives that kind of keep other people in her algorithm or drive division amongst the fan base. But this is actually a tried and true method because it's worked before. I've seen the Barb's have major issues amongst themselves because people have snuck in. And so that will be what they always do, attack her fan base in any way they can, because that's where her money and power comes in it. So if Nicki Minaj loses fans or people aren't supporting her because they think she's too this, she's too that, she shouldn't have done something, then they're not financially supporting her. Let me look into that situation with the fans. You guys got snakes in the grass amongst the Barb community. You guys do keep getting breached. This moon card tells me so. Some people are paid, like paid dissenters in some way, or come from other fan bases, or not really a fan but pose and then somehow bring up things. There are things that have been previous issues when you guys have gotten infiltrated. Those same things will happen. You guys have people with platforms that claim to be barbs that do this. So be careful. Like bar platforms, some of them also. They do this in very subtle ways, but they do it. All right. Past position, the Hierophant. I think that's them no longer trying to put Cardi B at least in Nicki's algorithm. Now, this is Jay-Z. So definitely Cardi B and Rock Nation or Jay-Z recently got together. Jay-Z supported Cardi B. He could have been doing so to take a jab at Nicki Minaj. And the whole industry kind of had Jay-Z's back in a way when she was coming at them. But that's behind Nicki Minaj. She'll release her album. She'll deal with sabotage. The Barbs will deal with some attempted sabotage, but she'll release her album. Questions? Who's in school? Who's Kino? I guess that's a platform. Oh, okay. Never heard of them, but a spiritual barb with her own barb community. Okay. His name King. Oh, Kino King. Okay. Will she diss Jay-Z, Mayor? Let's see. All right. I think Nicki Minaj is going to diss. She just gonna be popping shit. As an indigo, what the fuck is an indigo? What is an indigo? Indigo is blue. What is that? Sorry, I gotta keep my lap covered because this is a dress that I have on and I can't show y'all my chocha. Nah, no, y'all ain't paid the chocha fee. And that's $1 million. Then you can see it. Um, yes. All right. Spirit, will Nicki Minaj diss Jay-Z in any of her upcoming songs? I'm so hungry and I'm not cooking shit, so I got to figure my life out. Will Nicki Minaj diss Jay-Z in any of her upcoming material? Will Nicki Minaj take any shots or jabs at Jay-Z? Well, here's Nicki Minaj in reverse. So this tells me she will be popping her shit probably. This is a little aggressive, maybe even cocky. So she, when it comes to possibly, I'll say possibly, she will be cocky, overconfident, cocky, popping shit. Here's the Sagittarius. They're both Sagittarius. I think Nicki Minaj feels like she can go toe to toe with Jay-Z, and she has, which is where that lyrical card comes in. Because it's almost like you sent Cardi B when I done already went toe to toe with the boss. So she sees Jay-Z as her peer, which is why she will be very cocky, just like Jay-Z is. They're both Sagittarius. That is the nature of rap. And I think she feels like Jay-Z knows that. So she will be giving Jay-Z a run for his money in the sense that his newfound puppet can't do. She's saying, Jay-Z, how about you come to the yard? How about you address me? That's the kind of cocky bravado she will be giving off. I think she feels like Jay-Z sent someone unqualified. The page is a messenger. You tried and failed. You didn't even sell that much with the messenger you sent at me. Jay-Z, you are my peer, not Cardi. So in that sense, I think she will be very cocky. I don't know if she will directly call out Jay-Z, but the way she'll be rapping in at least some of her songs, it will be a reminder to Jay-Z of who she is and why you can't send a page for his peer. Yes, Kanye even said she bodied everybody on that on Monster. I agree with that. And I'm not a Barb. I'm not a Stan, but she did. She did. She did eat everybody up on there. Animations, lyrics, vibe, the way she gave so much life and animation to the song and kept up the lyricism. That's why I like that verse because I'm not always for Nicki Minaj's animated persona, but when she's heavy into her lyricism is when I like her the most. In that case, she gave both, and it wasn't too over the top for me to not be able to enjoy. Who will come out on top? Neither one. I don't think there is an on top. These are like two giants fighting, and I don't think that Jay-Z is going to put the full force of a takedown behind Nicki Minaj. I think he would send women to do that, and if they can't, then he'll just let Nicki Minaj talk her shit. But let me ask, Spirit, between Nicki Minaj and Jay-Z and the rivalry they seem to have, who will come out on top of the other? Will one prevail over the other in the beef between Nicki Minaj and Jay-Z? I do too, Sissy. I've said before, he respects Nicki Minaj. He doesn't like her, but I definitely think he respects her. They're both Sagittarius. He has to. I'm not a Sagittarius, but I understand them and the principles that they move on and the ego they carry. I definitely think he respects her, which is why he hates her. He respects her because he sees himself, probably a lot of himself in her. They're both from New York, so he gotta respect her gangster. I think he does. All right. Between Nicki Minaj and Jay-Z, who would prevail in their battle, in their war of giants, so to speak? I think he respects her. Neither one of them are, listen, that man is not going to. I think Blue Ivy or Rumi is a fan of Nicki Minaj, to be honest. I think one of his kids like Nicki Minaj, probably Blue Ivy. And I think he respects her. I think he gives her flowers even without saying them. This is not a card of anybody being taken down. This isn't even really a card of battle. This is somebody giving somebody their flowers. Somebody bigger giving somebody smaller their flowers. And we don't know if this is actually a male and this is a female. He gives her flowers. I mean, giants go to war with each other, and then sometimes it might not mean anything. He'll never destroy her. Not saying he can, but he'll never even try to. He sent Cardi B out, let the girls duke it out, but and let me get money off of it. And Nicki Minaj is just like the little imp that jabs in his side. But I don't mm, I think he gives her flowers. Nicki is a gatekeeper. They can beef with each other, but she's a gatekeeper. She's one of the artists that upholds music. No matter what fads and trends come in, as far as Jay-Z is concerned, because I'm reading Jay-Z, and I feel like she feels the same. And she said he's still one of her favorites. She respects him. He respects her. She respects him less than he respects her. And that would make sense because she has a bigger gripe with him. She sees him as a snake and all these other things. I don't think he sees her that way. So I think she has less respect for him than he has for her. And I think she respects him. He respects her. She'll give him hell, but she's a gatekeeper. And I think even he acknowledges that. And I think his wife feels the same. I think he and his wife on the inside really, really, really. I mean, it's Nicki Minaj. If they take her out, what's going to happen to female rap? Because it was dead in between Little Kim and Nicki Minaj, and there were definitely people trying to rap. Kaya, Trina, Mia X, Shauna. They had a super group. Jackie O, Shauna, Jackie O, and Remy Ma. They had a group together. Y'all don't know about that. Y'all don't remember. Y'all don't know that Remy Ma had a group short-lived with Jackie O from Miami and Shauna from DTP with Ludacris. Very short-lived. I heard Jackie O was the reason that they ain't work together no more. And Miami girls can be hard to deal with, but many of y'all don't know about that because a lot of girls were doing their thing, but they weren't doing it like the girls in the Little Kim era. And then in between then, Nicki Minaj came in. I think a lot of the girls that are in the industry now are there because a lot of people saw a new fresh opportunity to really make bank in female rap like they hadn't saw since the heydays of the Little Kims, the Foxy Browns, and the golden era or the birthing era of female rap. And then I think everybody wanted their own replica. But that talent, I think, is one in a kind. And I think that the greats in the industry recognize when talent is a foundation of the industry so that all the other artists can have an industry to eat in. So I think they feel like Nicki Minaj is one of the foundations of the industry, and they're not going to take her down, even if they support other girls to make money off of them because they know that they can't take her down either. And if somebody else does, then that'll be the new foundation of the industry. But until somebody can take her down, they're not going to do it because there has to be a market for female rap, and the other girls alone aren't able to uphold it. Collectively, they can't uphold it. Now, he don't like the way she is trying to expose him and make his legal issues worse for him. So in this regard, this is his biggest issue with Nicki Minaj right now is that she kept bringing light and keeps bringing attention to his legal woes. That he don't like. Really, really, really don't like. But I don't see him taking her down. Six of Cups, Queen of Wands. He feels like she is the queen of female rap. The queen and the sun. He feels like she's the savior of female rap right now. He's not going to take her nowhere. He feels like she's the best. There are the others, and then that's her. on the same horse currently that she rode in on in her beginning stages. He feels like she's still number one and nobody else is better than her. So he's not going to take her down because he understands that the industry has to go on. He's not bigger than the program, but he wants her to stop trying to make his legal issues worse. I will say that. All right. You guys want to talk about anything else? I'll stay put till about 7:30, 7:45. It's been 2 hours already. So I'm hungry, tired. I read the topics that I came here to read. I'll let you guys throw another one out there if you want. I am starving. I can't believe I ain't got no snack in here. Oh, JT and Cardi. Oh, okay. I forgot about their little situation. I'll read JT. I've read Cardi a lot leading up to her album. So I'll read JT, not cardio. I'm sure that wasn't a typo coming from JD. Do Diddy? Okay, I'll throw Diddy in there too, because I know um, one of the assets that he had to put up for his estate sale, aka Carisha, just did a plea to let him out. I only say that because I did a whole reading about Carisha and Diddy's estate sale when he was first getting clank and he had to let all his bitches go. And she was a part of the estate sale, but she didn't want to go because she had nothing. She had nothing. And this is why there's no shame in her. After all the stuff that people say about her, one thing about a Miami bitch is that she is a hustler and they are usually ruthless, meaning I know a lot of Miami and South Lauderdale and Miami girls, people who don't really act off of morals because they're in survival mode. So they hustle. And when it comes to their survival, even other people's opinion will take a back seat. A la Jay-Z and Beyonce being seen with the Trumps. Now, I don't think they wanted to, but I think the media would love to expose them. And I think that they are desperate. And they're hustling right now. And so, Carisha, she hustling. She, at this point, can't give a fuck what people say. Because these same people haven't been supporting her while Diddy's been away. Ain't been putting no money in her pocket from none of her other endeavors. And that was the best trick she had of her life. So if she would let him urinate on her, then where the fuck y'all thought she was going? Especially when he got found not guilty of all the major stuff. Where the fuck y'all thought she was going? And if she thought she was going somewhere, she turned that bitch right back around. Soon as they said not guilty, she turned that bitch right back around. Probably cut all her other tricks off. Just in case they let daddy out tomorrow and she need that thing to be tight and right. I'm gonna read JT though. I don't know why I got on Carisha in the first place. Oh yeah, y'all asked me about Diddy. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of JT. I don't know her last name, but I know her first name is Jatavia or Jatavia. Please allow me to conjure up the spirit, the soul, and the collective energy of the female rapper JT, who is currently embroiled in a public or online dispute or back and forth or beef with Cardi B. JT, what's going on with you and your newly publicized beef with Cardi B? JT, why did you decide now to respond to Cardi B? She was always going to respond, but I think she wanted to wait until a certain time. Could be until Cardi's album was already out and most of the sales were in so that she didn't drive any. Now, the Justice card here is a Libra card. Cardi B is a Libra. Cardi B may have said some things that were true. I don't know what all she said about JT, but Cardi B may have said some things that were true. And I believe that JT did not want Cardi B's album that finally came out, which is why it's Justice, to do better if she had have lended to it. I believe he has gone through some interesting things in her relationship that I'll JT was justified in disassociating herself with. Read them before. I read them a couple of times, and the first one I did is a post on my page. I wrote out the reading, and I talked about the nuances when their relationship was falling apart, but it wasn't public yet, and their nuances between, well, with Uzi not liking JT. There were valid reasons for JT to fall out with Young Miami. I think there was a lot of pain, maybe, in the breakdown of that relationship. I also think that JT has experienced some pain in her relationship with Uzi that maybe Cardi B really does have some tea on. I don't know if Cardi B is going to fully engage with JT, maybe because she can't. And this may be JT not engaging any more than she has. This might settle down, or this could be Cardi after she finishes doing what she's doing, coming back to take her shots. I'm not sure. I believe JT's aim, because this is crowning her, was to wait until her album sales settled. And I think she did that because she knew Cardi B was using her in her music. How JT currently sees herself, interestingly, in some really devilish shit. And I ain't just talking Uzi. Now, I do think that her and Uzi are not together for love, but together for something else. And that something else could be that Uzi, that a lavender relationship. This could give me lavender relationship. I also think that JT has found herself in the bowels of the occult. And I believe she is not a leader in esotericism. She's not a woo lady. And so I think she will be in over her head. This is an omen, JT. You will be in over your head with the Owens and to the others that they introduce you to in their network. You don't know anything about this stuff that you're not dabbling in, but fully submerged in at this point. You will find yourself in over your head and wanting out. You probably do now. But I do think that you're in a unconventional relationship, and I think that you and Uzi don't hump each other. I think you and Uzi don't hump each other. I think you may have partners that you're allowed to see privately. Now, how other people see JT is JT eating Cardi up. I feel like they're eating Cardi. A lot of people feel like JT's, doing her big one with her tweets or whatever she's saying. And they also see her as kind of sending shots, but by herself. Again, this is the actual unconventional relationship card, and it's in her hopes and fears. So I don't think JT's unconventional relationship will ever be exposed with receipts. Nothing solid. You guys aren't going to, for instance, what I just said here, nobody's ever going to come out with receipts about them not humping each other because they're in an unconventional relationship, but I definitely believe they are. And I believe that Lil Uzi's team needed him to be in this unconventional relationship in order to sell Lil Uzi as a rock star who is unconventional, but girls still like him. He can still be sold to girls who like rock star emo type guys, and women like him now. Back then, though, I think there was a decision that he needed a girlfriend. Him and JT were put together, but I don't think that, I think he was probably bi, maybe fluid, but I think his preference is probably something else, or he could be asexual. There's something unconventional, and I don't think they have a lot of sex with each other. The outcome for JT is that she will either be ignored or overshadowed by something. JT, I think she lacks stamina in some way. She lacks stamina. She burns out quick. It's like she gives us a nice hot moment and then that's it. She burns out quickly. I wonder if she has a double or a triple Sag, because that burnout feels like a lot of Sag or Sag mixed with some other fire sign. So there's a burnout to her sun sign of Sagittarius. There has to be another fire element close to her sun or negatively impacting it because she gives burnout quickly. Outcome for JT in this situation. She'll be overshadowed by Cardi B's tour. Cardi B is focused on trying to make this tour happen. Nicki Minaj's rollout, other things, other girls will come along, and this beef just won't last. This beef just won't last because other things are coming, and JT doesn't have the stamina. And I don't know if she wants to. She may have just wanted to let off her shots, but not when Cardi would really benefit from it. It's a lot of other girls coming, a lot of other projects, a lot of other things coming. Cardi will be too distracted to focus on JT. And it kind of almost doesn't benefit her to go back and forth with her now because it doesn't benefit her first week sales. Which brings me to the near future because that'll tell me for sure. This looks like the beef is going to fizzle out quickly. Don't boost her sales, so Cardi ain't going. And she may be entering the last trimester of her pregnancy. Wonder if she's having a boy. This won't drive her album sales. She's not going to engage with JT too much. She got other people are coming, interrupting her tour. She has to try to make a tour. She needed these girls to respond that first week or so. I'm curious about these unconventional relationship cards. The devil in reverse. I think that this was a beneficial relationship, not a loving one. I think somebody's team needed these two together, for business purposes. The Hierophant reverse. Cardi B. Cardi B said she had some kind of text or something or messages to put out. If she did, those receipts still weren't good enough, which is why I said nobody's going to really fully expose them with real receipts. But I do think that they're in a lavender relationship. Hey, Jasmine, I'm happy to see you because I did do the ceremony. But if you didn't know, I lost my phone in Miami, and I went to Miami the day after I finished your ceremony. So that phone has the footage in it. I have a new phone. I am waiting for the recovery period to be over so that I can access my iCloud and then I'll send it to you. The new phone just came today. That's what I got for JT and Cardi. I think what we got from them was it for the most part. Somebody asked me to read Diddy. I'm going to do that and then I'm going to go because I'm hungry. I'm starving. I'm tired. I don't feel like driving anywhere to get anything to eat, but I also don't feel like spending extra money on DoorDash. I'm very frugal with things like that. And I feel like, fuck it, I'll drive because I won't spend as much in gas as I will in somebody bringing it to me. All right. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Sean P. Diddy Combs. Haven't checked in on Diddy in a while. He feels a little refreshed. He feels optimistic. I know his team just released that they're pushing for time served. I mentioned time served before. So they're pushing for time served, and I feel like he's hopeful and optimistic about it. Please allow me to conjure up and see into the collective spirit, soul, and energy of Sean P. Diddy Combs currently. P. Diddy, what is currently going on, influencing, impacting your life at the moment? What's mostly going on in your life, most importantly, going on in your life right now? Who am I reading? P. Diddy? It's Carisha. She's the air sign. I know other people have been writing him letters, but I don't think that Carisha's letter, I don't know if Carisha is the right person or the person he feels like should write a letter, probably because of things she said in her past, things she's been accused of legally in conjunction with P. Diddy. So I don't know if he's as ecstatic about Young Miami's letter to the judge because she's been publicly accused of freakishly things in the Diddy shenanigans. Whether those accusations went anywhere or not, her name was brought up in allegations, her and her cousin. She's publicly said that she likes for P. Diddy to pee on her. She publicly went on social media and told another woman that if she wanted this woman to give her fellatio, then she would have P. Diddy make her do it. Anyone who wanted to challenge P. Diddy not getting out can bring up the type of people that are coming out on his behalf. So I don't know if he's as ecstatic about her writing a letter to the judge or that letter. Again, the problem is that she has said and done too much publicly. It's almost like it's too much evidence against her for her to be a good character witness to why he should be released. But there are people sending messages to the judge. They are trying to get time served. I think he feels like Young Miami is a challenge to the attempts of him getting time served because of things she's tangibly done that can be brought to the court's attention when they're like, sir, this is the people, this is the person that wants him out. Now, this is Diddy going through what he went through. It was like a death to him, a really traumatic time. He's been really quiet. And for the most part, everybody on his team has kind of been quiet until, the time where they were in the clear. Here we have Young Miami. And so I don't think that certain people who have had accusations are people that he even wants to be a character witness now. Like I know they said some of Kim Porter's friends have written letters. Those are the type of people that they want. Carisha is a part of this Three of Swords crew that he has had to disassociate from, and they've all had to be quiet and lay low. I think he thinks Carisha should not be somebody speaking up for him getting out. However, he will have some favor. Things will go his way in the near future in some way. Diddy took one for the team, took a couple for the team, but they were unsuccessful in getting all the charges that they wanted to against him. And that was by design. Like I said before, they never really intended to make Diddy go down for the real Rico stuff. Again, Young Miami, I don't think Diddy wants you to write any letters to the judge. You're not a sympathetic witness. The courts will ignore Young Miami. They won't even take her into consideration. They'll take into consideration the people that matter, the sympathetic people, which is why he'll have a good day. Diddy was never supposed to actually go down, go down. He was supposed to appear as if he was in trouble. Page of Swords in reverse, I feel like they'll give him time served. He's been in there for a year. I don't see if he's been in there for a year or close to a year since they get no, that verdict came out recently. Was it June, July, April, June, July, one of them? Since they gave him his verdict, I don't think he will do more than a year, if so, a year and some change. But he's not going to do. Looks like I froze for a second, but I'm back. I don't think he's going to do 5, 10, 15, anything like that. A year or close to it, somewhere around there, since the date of the trial being over. Yeah, they won't find any other reason to keep him there after they, give him allocate all the proper punishments and things for the things that they did find him guilty for. He will be reunited with his family soon. With some restrictions, but behind this 9 of Cups, where I said something is about to go his way, 10 of Cups. He'll be reunited with his family soon with some restrictions. Let me look into Young Miami. She's a part of the baby oil crew, so she's somebody that's attached. She needs to stay quiet so he can get out. I just talked about the silence of the Fool card with the rose. He would prefer her stay silent, but she won't be the thing that sabotages him. He'll be out soon. Sooner than later. Does Quincy still want to get him back? Spirit, how does Quincy feel about P. Diddy possibly coming home? The young man he raised, Albie Shore's son, Kim Porter's son. How does Quincy feel about P. Diddy having the potential to come home soon? I feel like Quincy's been demonetized and demoralized. That's what I heard in my mind. I don't even know what that means, but demonetized and demoralized came to mind. How does Quincy feel about P. Diddy coming home sooner than later. His mother pops up. I don't think Quincy is in the position to show how he really feels. I think Quincy was hoping somehow, some way that his mother's stuff would have been brought up more in the trial. I think Quincy might feel a way about one of his mother's alleged friends in particular. Feel like he feels like his one of those friends is betraying his mother. I think Quincy wanted the authorities to go into Kim Porter's situation, and I say that because I think Quincy told them some stuff, hoping and thinking that the law was doing the law's job. I think he talked to them a little bit. Maybe not outright, but I think he gave them tea in the form of tea. Vague statements, but hinting at things, dropping clues where they can find them. So nobody can say he outright told, but I think he tried to drop clues, thinking that they were really going to take him down. And show me how Quincy will feel and how it will affect Quincy moving forward when Diddy is released. What will it look like for Quincy? Quincy will welcome P. Diddy back like everybody else, and he will turn his back on what he thought would happen during the trial. He'll put it behind him. Diddy will be out, and there will be no way that he'll get tried again for a lot of stuff that should have been brought up this time. So he will live life like he's been living it, like the rest of his siblings and the people. He'll welcome him back, and he will put behind him the idea of his mama's situation being brought up. That would be the only way he'd get out. And now that he knows that the authorities ain't about to go there, then he'll go back into being the good prodigal son, I guess. With that being said, I'm tired. This was fun. I need to eat. I need to respond to some of you guys who emailed me because my phone still ain't working yet. So I will see you guys maybe tomorrow. I'll probably feel like coming back tomorrow, and if not, definitely Friday. Love you guys. Bye.